So today we're going to be talking about the correct UFC top 15 point for point rankings in my opinion. Starting off in at number 15, we've got Khamzat Chimaev. Yo, let me fucking talk. Let me fucking talk. I know a lot of people might think this is a bit controversial having Khamzat Chimaev on the point for point list, and I understand kinda where you're coming from, but the guy's 14-0. His last two wins in the UFC are Kamaru Usman and Robert Whittaker. Now look, was the Kamaru Usman fight a robbery? Should it have been a draw? I would say draw, but if you're looking at the guy's resume, his last two wins are against Robert Whittaker and Kamaru Usman, and look at what the guy done to Robert Whittaker. He quite literally broke Robert Whittaker's face in the very first round. Who has done that? Nobody. Khamzat Chimaev, love him, hate him. He's top 15 right now, point for point in the UFC. Moving on to number 14, we have got Arman Tsarukyan. Now, Arman Tsarukyan is the number one contender in the UFC's lightweight division, coming off two big wins over Charles Oliveira at UFC 300. And yes, I'm going to say win over Charles Oliveira because he did win against Charles Oliveira. I know a lot of people like to just live in La La Land and think Oliveira beat him, when if you actually re-watch the fight, or even if you watched it live, it was a clear Arman win, and then he knocked out Beneil Dariush in like the first round, I believe. Number one contender in the lightweight division, should have fought Islam for the title. We all know what happened. Arman Tsarukyan is very well rounded in my opinion. He is easily number 14 right now in the UFC. Moving on into number 13, we have got Max Bless Holloway. Some people might have this guy higher. I would understand why you might have Max Holloway higher. Obviously, Max Holloway is a legend in the sport of MMA. The guy is now a lightweight fighter. I know they still have him ranked in the UFC's featherweight division. Max Holloway has made it clear he's fighting a lightweight now. Now, Max Holloway is coming off that loss to Ilia Topuria. But before that, the guy was on a 2-fight win streak, I believe. Maybe even 3. I'm trying to remember. I think he was on a 3-fight win streak before the Ilia Topuria loss, because I know he knocked out Gaethje at UFC 300. He then beat Arnold Allen. That there was a sick fight. And then before the Arnold Allen fight, I'm pretty sure he knocked out the Korean Zombie, but you can let me know in the comments below. And then I think before that was when he got absolutely taken to fucking school by Volkanovski in their trilogy. Look, Max Holloway, stacked resume. Guy's the current BMF champion, has wins in 2 different weight classes. Max Holloway right now is number 13. I do believe by the end of this year, this guy will have climbed the ranks. He could be featured higher on the point for point list. Don't think he'll be in the top 10 by the end of the year, but I do believe he will be higher than the number 13th spot. Moving on into number 12, we've got Nassourdine Imavov. Now, Nassourdine Imavov has to be here. I know Khamzat Chimaev is getting the title shot over him, which is just like, how? You know, I understand Khamzat Chimaev is a big name. He beat Robert Whittaker. Nassourdine Imavov just knocked out Israel Adesanya. Now, I understand Adesanya was on a 2-fight losing streak, but the guy just knocked out Israel fucking Adesanya. I'm going to say it again because I think third time's the charm. The guy knocked out Israel Adesanya. Nassourdine Imavov currently on a 4-fight win streak. His last 3 fights anyway, I remember. Knocked out Adesanya, beat Brendan Allen, which is a great win. Obviously, Brendan Allen on a 2-fight losing streak. But when he beat Brendan Allen was on like a 7-fight win streak. And then before that, he beat former title challenger in Jared Cannonier. Now, was that an early stoppage? I was screaming early stoppage when it happened. It was an early stoppage, yes, but I think Nassourdine Imavov was going to stop him. It was just a matter of time. Although Cannonier has crazy recoverability. Is that even a word? Anyway, Nassourdine Imavov, he is number 12 on the list. Moving on, we have got Leon Edwards. Now, Leon Edwards, the UFC actually have him ranked number 9. They actually have this guy above Pantoja. You know, I don't understand how you've got this guy above Pantoja. Pantoja's the flyweight champion, has cleared out his entire division. We are going to get to that later on. And then you have Leon Edwards above him. Doesn't make much sense, but again, nowadays, none of the UFC's rankings really make sense. Leon Edwards is here. He's just outside the top 10. In my opinion, I have him coming in at number 11. Yeah, let me see. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Yeah, it would help if I could fucking count and remember where I'm on about. But yes, Leon Edwards is in at number 11. Former UFC welterweight champion. Beat Prime Kamaru Usman back-to-back. Has got other wins over Nate Diaz, Kobe Covington, was undefeated for 9 years. Leon Edwards is just outside at number 11. Moving on, we're breaking in to the top 10 now. We have got Volkanovski. Volkanovski, I know he's on a 2-fight losing streak. I know a lot of people are hating on this guy. This guy will be higher, by the way. He will be higher than the number 10 spot by the end of the year because he will beat Diego Lopez and regain his featherweight title. Volkanovski, though, he is on a 2-fight losing streak. He's the greatest featherweight of all time. Multiple defenses in that division. Beat Max Holloway 3 times. Korean Zombie, Brian Ortega, Yair Rodriguez. Do I need to say more? A lot of people are sleeping on Volkanovski nowadays, which I do find pretty crazy. Like, he lost to number 1 and number 2 best fighters in the sport right now. Kind of ruins what my 1 and 2 are in the video, but I think a lot of people would have understood. Volkanovski's number 10. Moving on, number 9, we've got Jon Jones. Now, Jon Jones, I was very reluctant to put this guy on the point for point list. I didn't want to have him on there, but I feel like I have to put my issue with Dana White and Jon Jones's relationship to the side. This guy's ruining some of the best years in the UFC. Anyway, let's move on. Number 9, he's coming off that win over Stipe. He is technically the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion. Can't put him any higher than number 9, I'm going to be honest. His inactivity, he beat an old Stipe, hadn't fought in like 4 years. He beat Ciryl Gane. Yes, was a good win, but then before that he lost to Dominic Reyes. Arguably lost to Thiago Santos. He's number 9. He is the greatest of all time in the sport. I'm not going to take that away from like Jon Jones. I'm not going to try and argue that. I know a lot of people like to say, hey man, he can't be the greatest of all time because he's been caught with PEDs. To that argument, it's then like, well, all your favourite fighters have probably taken something. Like Nate Diaz said, everybody's on steroids. So I'm sure some of your beloved fighters wouldn't be able to be on this list. Jon Jones, number 9. Moving on, number 8, we have got Tom Aspinall. Now, Tom Aspinall is above Jon Jones right now. Factual information. The guy's on a crazy run. He's basically cleared out majority of the contenders in the UFC's heavyweight division. He's beaten Curtis Blaydes, Tybura. He's beaten Volkov. He's beaten Sergey Spivak. Has he beaten one more? I'm trying to think. Anyway, he's beaten at least 4. He's beaten 4 out of the current top 10 UFC heavyweights. The guy has cleared out a large portion, and the names he's beaten in the heavyweight division are like the guys that are top 5. Majority of the guys that he's beaten are top 5. Like they're like top 8 to 5 range, or yeah, like 8 to 3 range is where they're at. Tom Aspinall has beaten the best heavyweights in his division. I think he's going to beat Jon Jones. I think when he beats Jon Jones, he's going to be like top 3. I think he will be number 3 when he beats Jon Jones, but until then, he's going to have to sit tight in at number 8. Moving on, number 7, Belal Muhammad. Look, Belal Muhammad on a 6-fight win streak right now, current UFC welterweight champion. He is higher on the actual UFC point-for-point rankings. Good win over Leon Edwards, good win over Gilbert Burns. The Gilbert Burns fight, though, really fucks me off because a lot of people will go, well, man, Gilbert Burns was injured in that matchup. Belal Muhammad went into that fight on short notice with an injured ankle. Gilbert Burns got injured in the matchup and Belal Muhammad styled on him for 5 rounds. That's what happened if you're unaware. Then before that, he stopped Sean Brady, who was actually undefeated at the time. Sean Brady is now back inside the top 5, I believe, of the UFC's welterweight rankings. He's been the likes of Wonderboy. The guy has a good resume. I have him in at number 7, though. Going on to number 6, I've got Pantoja. Look, Pantoja could be higher. I am all for Pantoja getting the love and appreciation he deserves. Why the UFC had this guy in at number 9 is fucking beyond me. It is blasphemy to have that guy there. I don't understand why he's in at number 9. I really don't. I don't understand. I would love to know the UFC's argument as to why they have him so low down on the rankings. But for me anyway, the guy's beat like who? He's beat Perez, Royval multiple times, Steve Erceg. He's beaten Moreno multiple times. He's beaten Kai Car-France. I'm trying to think who else is in the top 10. He's beaten half. I know that. He's beaten half of the current top 10 in the UFC. He's also beaten Kaya Sakura, who is ranked number 14, I believe, in the UFC's flyweight division. So the guy's beaten 6 out of the current top 15. And some of the guys he's beaten are like former title winners, like Brandon Moreno. He's beat him multiple times. Beat Royval, who's the number 1 contender. Really, he's the number 1 ranked multiple times. Beat Steve Erceg. Beat Alex Perez. The guy's beat a lot of guys, and he's beaten them multiple times. He is number 6. Now we're getting into top 5. You can debate some of these so far. I think I've really nailed this list, if I'm being honest. These 5 coming up, no debate. So sit back, relax. Don't put much brain power into this, because it's not like, oh, this is an opinion. This is fucking facts. Top 5, we've got Dricus du Plessis in at number 5.
Bruh.
DDP, current middleweight champion. He's on a crazy run, beating Strickland, Adesanya, Strickland, Robert Whittaker. This guy, right, I'm going to tell you this right now. If DDP beats Khamzat Chimaev, he's the best middleweight of all time. I do not want to hear it. I'd argue with my fucking elbow. If this guy beats Khamzat, he's the best of all time. I don't want to hear people go, hey man, what about Anderson Silva? You ever heard of Anderson Silva, bruh? Oh yeah, the guy who beat a lot of fucking plumbers. If he beats Khamzat, he's the best. Right now he's number 5. Moving on to number 4, Merab. Look, Merab is clearly top 5 right now. He's number 4. This guy, greatest bantamweight of all time. He's on a generational run. He's beat the likes of Umar Nurmagomedov. I know a lot of people might say, who has Umar beat outside of Corey Sanhagen? Stop with that shit. Because yous were all glazing Umar. I picked Umar to beat Merab. I'm sorry that I don't have that much intelligence. You know, there's a lot of just air in here, not much brain. That's why I picked Umar. Umar, great win. Sean O'Malley, former champion. Petr Yan, former champion. Jose Aldo, former featherweight champion. Who else has he beat? Henry Cejudo, former 2-division world champion. Guy's number 4. Guy has 1 title defense and he's already the best in his division. That just shows you the work that he's done outside of getting his belt. Guy's number 4. Cleared out his whole division already. Number 3, we've got Alex Pereira. Look, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear you telling me he should be above. He's number 2. I don't want to hear it. Don't waste your time. Alex Pereira, though, is on a generational run, let's be honest. The guy's a 2-division UFC world champion. He's beaten 5 former UFC world champions. When he beats Ankalaev, I still wouldn't have him in at number 2. I'm just going to be brutally honest. Although, if you told me he was not... If you debated with me that he was number 2 after he beats Ankalaev, I would maybe listen. Would I agree with you? Absolutely not. If you try and tell me he's number 2 now, you don't know what you're on about. Number 3, Alex Pereira. Yeah, we can all agree. Moving on, number 2, it's Ilia Topuria. But it just is. It's not Pereira in at number 2. It just is. The guy has the best back-to-back wins in UFC history. This guy has the 2 best back-to-back wins. He knocked out Max Holloway and Volkanovski.
Bruh.
Did my mic cut out or did you not hear me? Because I didn't get the reaction I was wanting there. He knocked out Max Holloway and Volkanovski back to back. Shout out Drake, back to back. This guy's number 2. Clearly, I can't put him above Islam because Islam's just done better work. In terms of who's the best mixed martial artist right now in the sport of MMA, is it Ilia? Is it Ilia? Someone tell me. I don't know, maybe I'm glazing. Ilia's number 2, and finally number 1, it's Islam Makhachev. Obviously, it's Islam. The guy has done some amazing work. He's beat... I mean, he actually beat the guy who was pound for pound number 1 to earn his spot there. He beat him twice, because when he beat him first time around, the UFC fucked him over and didn't give him the ranking that he deserved. He's beat the likes of Moicano, Poirier. He's beaten Volkanovski twice. He's beat Oliveira. I mean, this guy is pound for pound number 1. I don't want to hear it. I don't think anyone's going to argue with it though. But yeah, that is the correct UFC top 15 pound for pound rankings. Shall we go through it again? Okay. Number 1's Islam. Number 2 is Topuria. 3 Pereira. 4 Merab. 5 DDP. 6 Pantoja. 7 Bilal. 8 Tom Aspinall. 9 John Jones. 10 Volkanovski. 11 Leon Edwards. 12 Nassim Imavov. 13 Max Holloway. 14 Arman Sarukian. And number 15 is Khamzat Chimaev. Let me know your opinions in the comments below. And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you again in the next one.